In this video, I'm going to share with you a very sad story on how I lost $12,000 on one sports card. I'm going to explain it in depth so you do not make the same tragic mistake that I made. So let's get into it. So what card am I talking about? So the card I am talking about, please give me a drum roll, is a Kyler Murray National Treasures 2019 BGS 9.5. And let's get into the story. So I bought this card in April of last year, so April of 2022. Now, why did I buy this card? So for those of you guys that have been following me for a little bit, you've probably seen me talk about, you know, how to time the market and stuff. And basically the reason I was buying it is because it was April. No one was talking about Kyler Murray. His stuff was selling for cheap. I was going to buy it in April and sell it at the National Card Show in about July, or maybe sell it on Facebook or something in August. And I was going to time the market. And I spent $22,000 on the card. And I projected to sell it from anywhere between $28,000 to $35,000, whether it was in cash or via trade, something like that. Now, what went wrong? So I'm going to explain to you what went wrong. So this was not the only Kyler Murray card I purchased. I purchased a bunch of others in that time, throughout the time of March and April and May, and I made pretty good money on them. I was buying like a cracked ice for like $5,000, selling it for like $8,000, a bunch of random prisms and stuff, buying for $700, selling for $1,300. I did really good on Kyler Murray. Now, because this was the biggest Kyler Murray card I had, it's not the easiest to move. Usually the higher end of the card, harder it is to move, right? You gotta find someone that has $25,000, $30,000 in cash or in trade to actually buy the card. Now, the card show came, the National Card Show last year in about July, August, or late July, early August, and I sold a bunch of stuff. I made a lot of money on Zion Williamson, Kyler Murray, but I just so happened to not move that card. And I was like, you know what? Not a big deal. I'll move it in the preseason when he plays well, or, you know, I'll just post it on Facebook right before the season. I kind of forgot about it, got a little bit lazy, and I was like, you know what? Man, I'm going to give it a week in the season. You know, I'll just sell it a week into the season. I'll have a good game, and I'll do that. He did not have a good game, and 1 week became 2 weeks and 3 weeks and 4 weeks, and he eventually ended up getting hurt, and I was like, oh, whoops, well, that's not good. And on top of that, so for those of you guys that follow sports cards, you know the sports card market during the pandemic went all the way up here, and then it came all the way back down last year, especially at the end of it. So while Kyler Murray was injured and the Cardinals were stinking it up, the sports card market was going down like crazy. Now the card's worth a lot less. Now, I did not follow my own rule. Now, I actually could have sold this card. So going back to in August, this is the whole disgusting part about the story. So I purchased the card for $22,000, okay? And I had an offer on the card for $25,000. I could have sold it for $25,000, wire right into my bank account with no fees because I knew the person. Also, I had some $26,000, $27,000 trade offers that weren't that bad, but I got greedy. I wanted 30, and before I knew it, I couldn't move the card. The season was coming up, and I just let it ride into the season. So I did not follow my own rule. Literally what I tell students, so in the programs I have, I don't offer this program anymore, but I used to have a program called the Elite Program that taught how to buy these high-end cards and kind of time the market and sell them and make quote-unquote passive money. And I always tell them, the number one rule, now this is actually a rule for any student, not just elite students, but any student, anyone in sports cards, the number one rule, or it's a lot of number one rules, but one of the number one rules is when a season starts, do not have any of that card. Let me give you an example. So when football starts, when it kicks off early September, do not have any football cards because most players go down. Look at last year, right? Almost every single player went down except for Jalen Hurts. Patrick Mahomes kind of stayed at the same. Every other quarterback went down. Josh Allen went down. Joe Burrow was down. Then he came back up when he beat the Bills in the playoffs. But every quarterback was down. You know, I could go into guys like Zach Wilson, Mac Jones. These guys just plummeted like crazy. And this is what I tell people. Don't have any cards. And I did not follow my own rule. I'm a moron. And this is not the first time I did this. I've done this. And, you know, it obviously cost me a lot of money. And the card I paid $22,000. It's come back a little bit. It was worth like probably $7,000 in like January, February. Now it's worth like $10,000. Kyler Murray's picking up a little bit of steam for God knows what reason, but I'll end up selling the card probably at this National Card Show. Hopefully, I'm actually going to sell it at this one. I'm not going to hold it to the season like an idiot again, but I should sell for about anywhere between $10,000 to $13,000. So I'll end up losing like, you know, 8, 9, 10 grand on the card, but you can make good money in sports cards if you're super disciplined. Like, so when I sold that Kyler Murray card, this is literally what I tell my students. Not every card is going to produce a 50% ROI. That's okay. Take your money and run with it. I had a $25,000 offer. I paid $22,000. You know, it wasn't what I was looking for. If I was spend $22,000, I want to at least make like 7, 8, 9, 10 grand. I wasn't able to, but the season was coming up and I should have just taken the $3,000 profit. It would have been easy. I would have taken the $25,000. I would have moved it into some baseball, and that $25,000 would have turned into like $35,000 to $40,000, because with the baseball stuff, my students and me, we did really good. But instead of that $22,000 turning into $35,000 to $40,000, guess what it's worth now? 12 or 10, 12 in that range. So stay disciplined, right? You are not going to make enormous money on every single card. Sports cards and business, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. There's going to be times you're wrong, okay? Especially in sports cards. Like, it's a game, okay? You have to look at it like a marathon, right? It's a game, and it's all about winning more than losing. Kind of similar to poker. If you guys play poker who are watching this video, right? You're not going to win every hand. Sometimes you're going to be dead on. You're going to be so right in a hand, and you know the other person's going to 2-out you, and he's going to have a 2% chance to win, and that's okay. That's part of the game, and this is literally what I tell students, and I did not listen to my own advice. So part of the reason I'm making this video is maybe get some hate comments, and I will never go against my own advice ever again. But hopefully this video inspired you guys. You can make good money in sports cards. I'll do another video where I talk about really in depth how to time the market, buy low, sell high, what types of cards to buy, all that stuff. But moral of the story, even if you're grading sports cards and you know a card doesn't grade at 10 and you paid $500 for it, and you know you get a $470 offer and you're gonna lose $30 plus the grading fee, that is okay, because the next card you buy is gonna grade at 10 and you're gonna make $600, $700, $800 on it. Okay, so once again, this is a game. You can't be right on every single card. And the last thing I'll say about this whole situation, the most ironic part about it, is I clown people in sports cards. I have this conversation with my buddy all the time. I clown people and I'd say, oh my God, why does this person want so much more for the card than what it's actually worth? He's going to end up holding the card and losing a lot of money. I have this conversation all the time with people, like guys who could have made a lot of money on Anthony Volpe a few months ago, and they just wanted every last penny for it. They ended up holding it, and now Anthony Volpe on the Yankees is worth half. I literally clown people for doing this, and you're looking at a victim who did it, okay? So hopefully I make these videos so you guys don't make the same mistakes that I made, because I've been through hell and back trying to make money with sports cards and figuring this whole thing out. Thankfully I did, just not on that one specific card. But like, comment, share the video. If you guys want me to talk about anything specific, feel free to comment. I try to respond to my comments as much as possible. Subscribe to the channel, click that little bell notification so you get notifications when I post. We post every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when we try to get videos out. Like, comment, share. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.